press pause and answer the question.
So here we're going to use our Chris's red raisins interested Will's neighbor again. If x is a natural number, now what's a natural number? Let's go through it. Chris's red raisins interested Will's neighbor. A natural number is a counting number. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's, whole numbers minus 0 or integers minus 0 and the negative numbers. That's a natural number. It's a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which of the following must be a natural number and which must be an imaginary number? The answer is this one, that the square root of negative x squared has to be natural, and that the square root of negative x cubed has to be imaginary. And let's pick a number. Let's say that x is, let's just make it easy. Let's make x be 1. So if you take negative 1 and you square it, negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. So if you take any negative natural number, it's going to be a negative number because natural numbers have to be positive. And if it's a negative number and you square it, it's going to be a positive number. So that we know that if we take the square root of something squared, it will be the original thing. And because we're taking negative x squared, that's going to become a positive number. And so if we change that number to 2, it still works out. Negative 2 squared is going to be 4, and the square root of that is going to be 2. So it's still a natural number. And then if we come over here, if we take negative 2 and we cube it, then it's negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. That's negative 8. And now we're taking the square root of a negative number. That sends off alarms and lets us know that the result of that process is going to be an imaginary number because it will be a negative number that you wind up taking the square root of. Let's look at some of the options that don't work. So this one doesn't work because, again, we use our number 2. The square root of 2 is not a natural number. So we can't say that this is a natural number, the square root of 2, because the square root of 2 is not a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one doesn't work because if we take something again like 2 and we put it in here, we take the absolute value of that, 8, and we take a negative number, it's always going to be negative. That's not going to be imaginary. There's nothing imaginary about 8 or negative 8. That's very much in the real world of numbers. If we look at this one, again, we see that negative 8 is not natural. So if we look at the natural numbers here, we're going to take 2 cubed, and that gives us 8, and then the absolute value of that, we'll take negative in front of that. Negative 8, that's not a natural number because a natural number starts at 1 and goes 1, 2, 3. And the same thing is true here. We're taking, say, 2, and then that becomes negative 1/2. And if we take the absolute value of that, and then we cube it, it becomes 1/8. And 1/8 is not a natural number because it's not a counting number. It doesn't go 1, 2, 3.